Hello there, this is Dave Motohead out here in the garage, and I'm going to be changing my Pitman arm bushing to a Delrin or Nylatron one that I had made, and so we'll put on the hat cam and I'll go over that with you right now. Anyway, it's a cold December day out here, and kind of freezing. The sun's up, but there's some clouds, and it's kind of a cold one. So anyway, first thing I'm going to do is get down in here and turn the wheel so I can get at this thing. Now, what I found with some of these things is that some of them are wedged in there like they're supposed to be. And the first thing I'm going to do is take the cotter pin out, as normal. And if this is wedged up in there like it should be, then you're going to need a puller to get out. But a lot of times I've found that they're just not wedged up in there very good. And like that one, you can see it's coming right out. Anyway, you want to take the nut off. And like that one, it just came right out, no problem. And so the next thing you want to do is, you know, this bushing is really not that worn, but there is rubber falling out the bottom of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. So next thing we need to do is get that out of there, and might be able to just stick this on the bottom of it and spin it right out. But there we go. Now, this is a serrated one. I've never seen one like that before. But well, it fits pretty good, I guess. I think I'm gonna use me a smooth bolt though. I don't want the serrated one, so I'll go in the house and I'll grab me a smooth bolt. But and we'll let the air compressor catch up so it's not muffling my voice. So I'll be right back with you. Okay. Now, if you notice here, this bolt here, the one I took out, has a serrated edge on it, which I've never seen one like that before. And this is an old stock bolt that I had, so I'm going to use the stock bolt because I don't like the serrated edge going inside my bushing here, because I think it might just act like a file or something after a while. Never seen a bolt like that. This must be like, I don't know, Clark's bushing or some kind of old bushing or something like that. So anyway, I'm going to use the smooth one because I like it better. So the next thing we need to do is we need to carve the old rubber out of the old bushing here. And a lot of times I just take a screwdriver and you can go around the edge here and you can just kind of bend it away, you know, get in between there and kind of chew it up a little bit. We want to leave the steel shell that's pressed in there. That's what makes these bushings so nice. And you just want to peel the rubber out, break it off from the side because it's kind of vulcanized onto that steel shell. And a lot of times you'll be able to just push that up in there, get a bite on it, and then just fold it down. There we go. So there's a rubber piece. And then we can look inside there, take my glove off, and it feels nice and smooth. So we should be able to stick the new bushing up in there. Sometimes you have to press them in with something, but sometimes you don't. And this one's going to have to be pressed in there, I believe. I have to get me maybe a hammer or something and press it up in there. Make sure this isn't buckled a little bit. But it should go up in there. Yep, it's going to be a tough one. So let me get a C-clamp or something, and we'll be right back with you. Well, after further review of my weird Pitman arm bolt with the serrated deal, I found that the steel shell is thicker than normal, And so what I've done is it won't fit in the hole like every one that I've ever done before. So what I've done is take my brake hone and ran it up inside here like that. A little bit of lube, and I'm honing out the steel shell to make the inside diameter a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And what I'm going to do is I've mounted my bushing on a piece of rubber here on the a drill motor, and I'm going to take down the outside diameter of my bushing a little bit. Now normally you won't have to do this, but since I have the super thick steel shell in there, which I've never seen before, normally these bushings just go right in. I'm going to have to take the inside diameter, make it bigger on the steel shell, and I'm going to make my outside diameter of my little bushing a little bit smaller so I can fit it up in the hole. Like I say, normally they just go right up in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, after a little bit of sanding down on my bushing here and honing out my Pitman arm, my drag link, I'm going to attempt to put this in. Like I say, normally you don't have to do this, but now it'll slide up in there and get started. Normally you can just slide them right in, but I, of course, have got one of those wacky little one-off Pitman arm bushings that seem to be a problem. So I'm just going to take this C-clamp and hopefully push this thing up in there with it. Like I say, normally you don't have to do this, but being that I'm Dave Motohead, nothing seems to be normal for me. But I will just push this up in there, which it seems to be being stubborn. Hopefully it'll go. I might be able to just take a hammer and do it. Block it a little bit. This little C-clamp sure doesn't give you much of a lever on it. You can see it is going up in there, but it's being difficult as normal. It's kind of starting to piss me off. I probably could have just pressed a new sleeve in there by now, but I want to use my Nylatron super bushing that doesn't seem to fit because I've got the super weird ass anyway, you get the point. I will be back when I'm done pushing this up in there. Okay, after using a cheater bar on my C-clamp and using a few choice cuss words of various varieties, I've got my bushing pressed in. As you can see, it's flush up here with that little Dewey McHickey. So I'm going to take my cheap Harbor Freight piece of crap C-clamp off. I almost had to resort to this, but I still might find something to use this on because I like to use this in every application. But now that we've got our bushing placed in there, and you can see it in there, now we'll stick the new bolt that doesn't have a serrated edge in there, and it should be kind of a tight fit. I should be able to set that up in there with a few choice whacks of the old hammer. Normally those slide right in there too. Anyway, so it's up in there tight. Now we can reconnect it to our Pitman arm. And then we can put the nut on and tighten her up. Get her nice and tight. You want to get those tight so it wedges up in there. And now we have non-sloppy non-sloppy steering. And want to maybe get a deeper nut there, but then you put your cotter pin in and you're ready to go. Anyways, that's difficult pilot bushing or Pitman arm bushing install 101. That was a little bit more difficult than any of the other ones I did, but of course it has to be a difficult one for me because it's my own car. Everybody else's car, those things slide right in. But I think it was the fact that I had that weird one-off bushing with a little bit of different thickness on the steel shell. But anyway, that's the general idea, and you guys got to watch Dave Motorhead struggle with something on his own car. So, lucky you. Thanks for watching.